All right. So tonight I am just so excited because Catherine and I didn't like really know each other. And then like the more we talked, the more I'm like, yes, you are like my person. This is how like my team thrives. And so just quick introduction. She is a mom of 2, 4, and 6. But she started this business when she was in just tons of debt, like back against the wall. Her kids were 4 months old and 22 months old. And within 11 months, she was a 6-figure earner. So it was that, do or die mentality. And I love it. She is 2-time elite, 10-star diamond, but 14 diamonds across all her business centers and just absolutely killing this business. And I just love that within 11 months, she made that happen. So, all right, I'm going to turn it over to you guys or to Catherine at the end. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask or put them in the chat, and then she can kind of answer when we get to the end of the call. But thank you so much for joining us. We are super excited.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. How are you guys doing tonight? Good? All right. I am pumped to talk to you guys tonight. I definitely am the definition of balls to the wall, no excuses. I don't like to beat around the bush. I don't like to candy coat things. When I make a decision in my mind in anything, I'm the type of person that goes all in and just goes for it. And I just don't let anything stand in my way, especially when my back is up against the wall. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about my story, how I got started into this, and you'll be able to really recognize why I really pushed so hard and went all in that place of desperation. And then I'm going to give you guys some really awesome tips so that you can start applying them immediately to your business, so that you can start to take your business to the next level and start seeing momentum immediately, because that's what this business is all about. It's about building momentum. So you're going to learn all about how I really grew this thing crazy fast to, diamond in 11 days and 2-star in 54 days or something like that. And 6 figures in 11 months. Was all in. So I'm going to tell you guys how I did that. And then you're going to be able to apply these things to your business. And you're going to learn, guys, as you hear me talk, I'm no different than you. I'm not anything special. I don't do anything different than any other successful person in this business. I just literally mastered the mundane. I mastered the vitals. And that is all that I focused on since the beginning of my journey. So let's just kind of backtrack here now. I've been doing this for 4 years. Currently, my kids right now, they're 6 and 4, just like Holly said. Landon just started preschool last week. We live out in Florida, so they start super early here. And my daughter just started pre-K. Actually, today was her first day. So when I first started this business, though, guys, my kids were 4 months old and 22 months old. And I wasn't always a coach and all that. Prior to having kids, I was actually an elementary school teacher. I taught for almost 10 years. I had my master's degree in special education, but I always knew that once I had kids, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's all I ever saw myself doing. And that's not for everybody. I totally get that, but you have to do with what is in your heart. You always have to follow that heart, and I just always knew that is what I wanted to do. Originally, too, I don't even know, I think it was 12 years now, my husband and I had done the original P90X. We actually got into the best shape of our life back then. So I did have that belief too in the programs before I even became a coach. I had done track my whole life in high school and college. I was on basketball teams. We ran the Boston Marathon together. We used to go to the gym all the time. And it wasn't until we did that original P90X with Tony Horton that we saw that you could get such amazing results from your own home. And it was since then that we were hooked on the, at-home workout programs. So when I stopped teaching, we knew things were going to be really tight, right? When I had stopped teaching, currently at the time, I was making $75,000 a year, which is a lot to give up, right? Even though my husband has a really good job, it's still really hard when you lose that salary. And it was okay. We were willing to make sacrifices. My husband has his MBA in entrepreneurship, and so he was going to continue working his full-time job. He was going to be doing 4 or 5 businesses on the side, and I was going to tutor most nights of the week. And that's kind of how we were going to make this thing work with just the one income. And we quickly realized that this was not happening. We were sinking really fast. And no one knew. I'm all about, oh my gosh, like what's this person going to think about me? What's my family going to think? I'm a total failure. Like I stopped my teaching career after 10 years. And I had already been home with the kids for 2 years at this point. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, now we're in all this crazy amounts of debt and we cannot even make this work. And no one knows how much we're struggling. And that's literally where we were. So now I want you to come back with me and go back 4 years ago to the time when my daughter was 4 months old. And I just remember like I was bouncing her in like her little like cream, those cool, like really soft, like fluffy sleep sack things. And then my son was 22 months old and he's like driving around me crazy. It's crazy. If you guys stay at home, does anybody stay at home? Has anybody stayed home mom? Yeah, right. It is no joke. People think it's like a walk in the park. And it was hard. It was a lot of work. It was insane, but it was what I really loved and wanted to be doing. And my husband came home that day. And that is when we realized that being at home with them was no longer an option anymore. At this point in time, it was so embarrassing and still is embarrassing to even say like just how bad things got. I mean, we were going down a really bad path. We had completely wiped out our entire savings account because we were living off of one income. We had racked up $35,000 worth of credit card debt, and we were sinking by $1,000 every single month. That is where we were when literally this opportunity just kind of fell into my lap. And I always tell people things happen for a reason. I really, truly believe that things come into your life at just the right time when you need them the most. And there's opportunities all the time. And you can either choose to open the door and take action and go for it, or turn your back to it and be skeptical about it. And so speaking of skeptical, even though my husband was so skeptical, he is the most thick-headed, stubborn German guy you'll ever meet. He did not think this was going to be a business. He thought this was a joke. He thought you might as well just go to a casino and gamble your money away, and those are your chances of having success in this business. Even though I had all those odds against me, I still just knew that I needed to do something. And we sat down together and we made this decision that I was going to just go for it. And I was going to go for it. And this was it. This was kind of like my last hoorah because we were doing everything that we possibly could in our power. We couldn't look back and say like, well, maybe we should have done this. I mean, we were doing everything we could and we were just so screwed. So I literally said to myself, like, I have no idea how to even do this. Guys, when I first heard about this, I literally only had 300 friends on Facebook. I did not have an Instagram account. I hardly ever posted on Facebook at all. I used it just to scroll. I thought there's no way, I'm not smart enough to build a business. I know nothing about a business. I am a first grade school teacher. That's what I know. But I knew that I had to make this work somehow because I was not going back. And I wanted it really bad. And trust me, guys, if you are sick and tired of your situation, and you're really sick and tired of your situation, and you truly want to change things, you will make it happen. And I made this business a priority from day one, making it high up on my list of a top priority. It's do or die. This is happening. I don't care what happens. I'm making this work. And at the beginning, I started this out because my daughter was 4 months old, right? And my son was 22 months old. It was crazy. I did a lot of work during nap times, and I did all of it at night when they went to bed. So I am no different than you guys. People always ask me, like, how the heck did you build this to 6 figures in 11 months? I just don't understand it. And it's literally just me mastering the mundane. But I'm going to go over right now. I really think that this is going to help you. Before I tell you just real quick, these quick little things, just know, because I always like to mention this because I don't know if there's many new coaches on here or just wherever you are in your journey. Sometimes when you see people come on that have had, real big success, you think that your goals need to be that big too, or that mine were originally this large and they weren't. I just want you guys to know that when I first got into this, I had no desire to replace my teacher salary. All I wanted was a couple $100 every week to just kind of keep us afloat. And I knew that we were still going to be in real big trouble financially, but I knew that it would just still keep me home. I knew we'd still be in debt, but it would be just enough to get me there. So none of these big goals came until I actually started taking action into the business, okay? So here are a couple of things here. This is what I really, truly believe is going to help you guys. When I looked back at my journey over the past 4 years, especially at the very beginning, I feel like there are these 5 non-negotiables that you need to have in order to really make this business work for you and to really get a thriving business. You know, not just here for the hobby and to mess around. I mean, really want to earn an income, change some lives, and change your life along the way. And I'm going to go over these 5, and then I'm going to weave them into my story as we talk for the rest of the night. Hopefully I don't talk too long. I tend to talk a lot. All right. So number 1, be focused. Being focused is the number 1 non-negotiable. I did not waste any time doing anything else other than talking to people and building relationships. Okay. I didn't spend it scrolling Facebook. I didn't spend it talking to other coaches on the team. I didn't spend it living in my challenge groups or anything like that. It was all me doing the vitals, right? The second one is being disciplined, because that is the thing. This business is so simple, guys, right? Like, we have the best freaking job in the world. It is so simple. It's so simple. I mean, it's actually crazy when you really sit back and think that you can turn this into something so incredible. But the tricky part is you don't have a boss telling you to show up, right? And a lot of us are used to going in and working for other people and being told what to do. But if you can get that entrepreneur mindset and think like an entrepreneur and be self-disciplined enough to show up every day, you're going to be freaking blown away with what this can do for you. So being self-disciplined. The third thing is getting your belief and confidence in check. That one is a big one for me. That's a big one for me. The fourth one, doing the vitals every day. And I know, sounds boring, guys, but it's those mundane things that are going to build your business. It's those things that people tend to avoid that are actually the things that you should do first. Most important thing that you can do is to just talk to people. Okay. And then the 5th non-negotiable is talking about the business opportunity to people every single day. You have to do that. I mean, for me to be able to build 6 figures in 11 months, it wasn't just challenge packs. It wasn't just Success Club 10. You have to build your team and find other business building coaches who want to go out and help more people, because you cannot be an island by yourself. Okay. So because of the situation that I was in 4 years ago, I knew that I had to do something. I knew I had to take this seriously. I knew I had to treat it like a business. That's the key thing. This could not be a hobby for me. I was all in. There was no plan B. It wasn't like, oh, let me just kind of dabble in this. I'm just going to kind of test the waters, hope this works out. It was like, this is working. Because if it doesn't, you're going to be leaving your kids and going back to work. And I just did not want that to happen. Okay. And it takes a lot of confidence, guys, for this business to work. A lot of confidence, because your confidence is going to be what draws people to you, your confidence and your energy. You have to have that confidence piece there. You can't be wishy-washy when you're talking to people. Even if you're behind the scenes, people will sense that vibe from you. And that confidence piece, I was lucky, it was a strength of mine from the beginning. But the only reason why is because I was talking to a lot of people every single day. I never worried about reaching out to people. I never let any of those thoughts cloud my mind. Like, what's this person going to think? Is this person going to think that I think that they're out of shape? I never overanalyzed it. I was getting the results because I was 35 pounds overweight when I started this. I couldn't get rid of the baby weight. And because I recommitted with the 21-day fix in Shakeology, I was feeling awesome and I was losing the weight and I knew the programs worked. And I was like, every single person needs this in their life. So I never felt like I was bothering them. Never. I never even thought about it. It was like, this is my job. I'm a coach. If you're not talking to people, I always tell my team that, like, if you're not talking to people and you're not telling them about this, then you're not doing your job as a coach. It's not our job to make the decision for people. It's our job to present them with this, and so that they know that we have what works. We have the solution for them, but let them be the one to decide whether this is or isn't for them. You do your job of at least confronting them and letting them know about it. So I had that confidence piece because, number one, I knew that the things worked. And number two, I was talking to so many people, guys, that the only way that you're going to get more confidence is by doing more of what makes you nervous. And the more that you talk to people, like, you're not just going to wake up one day and be confident. The more that you talk to people, the more that you invite, the more that you build relationships, the more that you stay consistent with those things, that is when you start to develop more confidence. That's when you start to become more competent. And then it becomes this cycle. And that's where you get the momentum going. And that's what this business is all about. Once you get that momentum going, there is no stopping you. There is no stopping you. You are on fire. Okay. So I was truly trying to reach out to as many people as possible and help them with no expectations, just helping anyone and everyone. I wasn't thinking about hitting Success Club. I wasn't thinking, is this person going to say yes or no? It was just like, this works. It works for me. You need to do this. You need this in your life type of deal. And it was just massive amounts of people every day. If you struggle with the confidence piece, you really have to get that squared away as soon as possible, because everything stems from it. Everything stems from the confidence. And a really good book, I'm sure that you guys have heard about it, is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. That's helped out my team a lot. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. There's so many different books and things like that that you can listen to that will help. But get that book if you haven't read it already, if you struggle with the confidence piece, so that you can get that part squared away. Another thing too is I really had that strong why. I had that strong reason for being here. And when I look at my team over the past 4 years, the ones who have really been able to blow it out of the water and change their lives and be able to leave their full-time jobs and things like that, they had a really solid why. You need to be like emotionally invested into the reason why you're here. Otherwise, it's going to be really tough to show up on the days where you just don't feel like it, right? Because let's face it, life happens. There are going to be times you don't feel like doing it. That is going to be the one thing that keeps you showing up every single day. So for me, thinking about, if I don't show up, like this is my choice right now at night. If I don't show up right now and build this business and reach out and talk to people and do my job as a coach, then you go back to work and leave your kids. That was it. And so it was a very simple decision for me. And when people ask you why you're here and what your reason is for coaching, why is it so important for you that this works? I mean, if you can't answer it like this and you're not really passionate about it, then you need to spend some time really getting that squared away. Really, really thinking about it and getting it squared away. So think about it. What is your why? What is your reason for being here? And just think about that for a second. Is it strong enough to take you through the times when things get tough? When you're getting a ton of no's, when you just don't feel like showing up, when you kind of feel like, I just kind of feel like caving. I don't really know if this is for me. The doubts are starting to creep in. What are you guys fighting for? What are you showing up for every single day? The desire for this to work, guys, and that desire for you to want to create that best life for you and your family, it's going to trump everything. It has got to trump everything. There's no walk in the park for me. It's no walk in the park, for Holly or any other top coach that you see in this business. And I'm exhausted, guys, all the time. My kids still wake up at night. Kirsten started the day at 4:40 this morning. I'm like, you're going to be screwed today for your first day of preschool, but okay. I mean, I'm exhausted all the time, but guys, you know what? It's been so worth it. It has completely changed my life, and it can change yours too. It's just making that decision. Before I started this business, guys, every time I put the kids to bed, all I ever did was I'd sit on the couch, and my husband and I, we'd watch just TV all night long, just constant reruns of, Walking Dead and Homeland and all these different things like that. And I knew that those were going to have to be my business hours. I knew that I was going to have to cut some of that stuff out, right? So I would literally stay up every single night. And this is more so at the beginning. I mean, I still stay up late now, but more so at the beginning when I was like in sheer desperation. I mean, I'd work every single night from like 8 to 12:30, get up at 5:45 for the day with the kids, be nursing my daughter all through the night. But what was my other option, right? And I knew I could do it. Other coaches were doing it. You can do it too. No one's any different than you are. You have the same trainings, selling the same things. We all have everything right at our fingertips. You can totally do the exact same thing if you wanted to. So I needed this business to work super fast. So that meant I had to stay really focused, guys. I'm talking really focused, head down, to the point, this is really, really sad. I never even really knew who any of the top coaches were when I first started. Actually, my husband knew who the top 10 coaches were way before I did. Because when I sat down to do my work, and I didn't have time to go creep in other people's pages to see what they were doing. That wasn't going to build my business. Stalking Lindsay Matway and Melanie Mitchell and all them, that was not going to help me. Sure, I'd listen to their YouTube videos. I listened to their training. I'd take that one thing away and I'd apply it to my business immediately. But I wouldn't just go scrolling and seeing what they're doing. So I didn't even know who half these people were. And my husband did. That's how kind of laser focused that I was, guys. But I found that setting those real specific business hours for me, because this is a business, just like any other business in the world, really helped me stay on track and just really doing those income producing activities. That's the key word, guys. Income producing activities. That is what builds your business. It's not pressing play. Pressing play is awesome. It's going to get you health and fitness goals and results. Showing up in your challenge group is great. Showing up on this team call is awesome. It's not going to earn you an income. You have to be behind the scenes there, talking to people, building new relationships, adding new people to your network. The cycle goes on day in and day out. So during nap times and every single night when the kids went to sleep, that's when I worked. And, you know, sometimes, guys, it's hard to see other coaches in this business, right? You know, they become like shiny objects. You look at all the different things that they're doing and you start to maybe think like, oh, well, you know, she's successful. Maybe I should do that. Oh, she's successful. Maybe I should rebrand my whole thing. Oh, she's successful. Maybe I should, you know, maybe I should build a website, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should use Streak, or maybe, guys, that stuff comes after you've hit your monthly goals. I always tell my team that, like, you've got to be talking to people, doing the behind the scenes work, locking in Success Club, bringing in active coaches. And once you've met your monthly goal for that, then sure, you can focus on organization and building a new website and all that stuff. But a lot of those things, guys, become distractions to you. You have to stay focused on the vitals. You have to stay focused on the vital behaviors. I know it sounds boring, guys, but I'm telling you, that is what will earn you the money and will turn your life around. And trust me, you do it enough, you start to earn a good paycheck every week, you're going to want to do those vitals, because it's going to be like, this is awesome. I'm doing the things and I'm getting rewarded for it. It's actually working. And you're going to start to get that momentum going and get on that high too, guys. So master them. I became a master of them, just like any other top coach, top leader in the company that's doing really well. They've mastered those things. Talk to as many people as you can, no matter what. I legit would never let myself go to bed unless I talked to all the people that I needed to talk to and did all my inviting and did all my follow-ups. And sure, life got hard sometimes and we had stressful things happen. And maybe I wasn't able to do as much one day that I usually was doing, but I still never stopped. I never stopped. I kept doing it no matter what. The one thing that's going to grow your business is you talking to people. That's it. When people asked me, okay, so like out of all the things like on, for example, like the business activity tracker, whatever you guys use to track your business, right? With those, we all have that. We all know what we need to do. Everyone always says like, well, if you were to strip it down, what was the one thing that you could pinpoint that you did that helped you grow 6 figures in 11 months? And it was hands down, no doubt, me talking to people in private messages. Guys, I never used Facebook really before this. So I couldn't make a post on Facebook and have people come to me and sign up. I wasn't known for health and fitness. I was no social media influencer or anything like that. I was just a stay-at-home mom, wanting to make it happen so I could continue being home and wanted to get myself in shape. I had to be the one going after the people. It took a lot of time and consistency of me showing up on social media for people to then start to come to me. All right. So posting on social media is not like inviting. I don't consider that really inviting if you're new. You have to be in the trenches. You got to be behind the scenes reaching out to people. Okay. Sacrifices. This is a big thing. I made so many sacrifices because, guys, at the end of the day, if you want something different in your life and you really want things to change, you want your situation to be different, you've got to be willing to make sacrifices. So for me and for everybody, that looks different. But there's no way you're going to change it drastically without any kind of temporary sacrifices. For me, it was less sleep, a lot less sleep, a lot less TV. We had like one date night a week, okay, on like a Friday night or a Saturday night. And most of the times it was just me staying home. We didn't really do too much. And I basically just got rid of anything that was going to suck up my time and prevent me from moving my business forward. If it wasn't helping me grow and wasn't building my business, it had to go. It had to go. If you're serious about this, you'll make those changes too. You won't even think twice about it. You'll be like, it's got to go. I know what I need to do. It's got to go. The one thing I never sacrificed, it's different now because the kids are in school part-time and stuff like that. My daughter's in preschool half days. My son's there full day. But when I first started, remember, they were really little. And that was the one thing that I never sacrificed with them, was the time with them. I always just said, you know what? I quit my teaching job, all that schooling with masters and everything, to stay at home with them. And I wasn't going to just ignore them during the day. And so that's why I only had that hour nap time, which was to like get in my workout most of the time. But mostly it was nights that I was working. And I'll tell you, the one video, didn't take me long to really, guys, start hitting the ground hard with this, but it was right about probably my 4 or 5 week mark. I came across Scotty Hobbs, right? And I came across his sacrifices video. Have you guys ever seen that one? Oh my God. And I just remember sitting like at my island in Massachusetts at the time. And I just remember watching it being like, I got to go even more in. I can't be going to bed. I was going to bed at 10 o'clock at night. I was probably working the business at the beginning for like 2 hours a night, maybe 2.5. And then I was going to bed. And that's when I really saw that. And I saw how like you could really do anything with this business. That's when I really started to dream big, right? And I was like, I just need to start staying up a little bit later. It's time to go all in. How bad do you want this? Like, you can totally do this. And I did. I watched that video. If you haven't seen it and you kind of need that swift kick in the butt and you like that kind of stuff, like hardcore, that's how I am. That will really resonate with you. That really helped because you're an entrepreneur, guys. So you have to be willing to do the things that most people don't want to do and aren't willing to do so that you can go on and then live this life that most people will never be able to and can't live. So you got to be willing to do those things. I was not doing anything special. I just invited, I did personal development, was proof the product worked, all that stuff. Spent a ton of time building a lot of real relationships with people. But the key is that I was consistent with those things. I did it every single day. And that's what this business is all about. It's consistency. Consistency wins and trumps everything. It's not the type of business where you can just show up on the weekends or do like one big bulk thing on Monday and Tuesday and take the rest of the week off. Every day, whatever that looks like for you, but doing it every single day. I didn't get lucky. Sometimes that really blows my mind. Some people are like, oh, you're just so lucky. You're just such a natural at this. That drives me crazy when I hear that, because it's like, no, I'm not. I just did the things that, you aren't doing. That's all it was. Just doing those boring things every single day. And I did them just every single day. And that's when I started to see the compound effect start to really go in full throttle. I never took no for an answer, guys. I'm not the type of coach who, when people say like, oh no, I'm not interested, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay. Like, let me know if you ever need any help. That's not me. I know no. I'm like, all right. I always ask guys, and you should too. You should never just be like, oh yeah, no big deal. Sure, reach out to me next month if you want to. Find out why they're saying no so that you can help explain things better to them. Like I always ask them, hey, if you don't mind me asking, what makes you not interested right now? Is it a time concern? Is it a motivation concern? What exactly is the concern? A money concern? Maybe I can help explain things to you better so that it makes more sense. Because a lot of times if you're talking to people, especially if they're new to following you or new friends on Facebook or whatever, they don't even know what the heck you're inviting them to. And a lot of times if you just kind of ask them why they're not interested and explain it, you can get them on board. All right. But I knew that I was going to make this work, guys. Like, do you know you're going to make this work? How many of you guys know this is happening? You guys are going all the way. Hell yeah, right? You have to know that. Going back to work just wasn't an option for me. It had to work. There's no plan B, and I wholeheartedly believe that this was going to work. And here's another thing for you guys. When you look at other top coaches, like I remember being a brand new coach. And I just remember just looking at like the people who had been doing this for 7 or 9 years at the time, being like, God, that just seems like so far away. It just seems like, whoa, they've been doing this forever. I have no idea what I'm doing. But, you know, when I listened to them, I saw where they came from and how they started out just like me, knowing nothing, with 0 people. And I saw what they did. And as I was watching all these different success stories from top leaders in the company, that's when I really realized, like, damn, this is awesome. Like, this is real. Like, this actually really works. This, if they can do it, I can do it. They're not doing anything different. They're no better than me. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to do what they're doing. If they can do it, I can do it. I'm making this happen. I'm going all the way with this. And I put a positive spin on it. Put a positive spin on it, guys. Don't ever look at the people who have been doing this for a long time, or even if they haven't been and they're doing amazing things, don't ever look at them and think like, oh, well, you know, they did it because they have more followers, or they did it because, you know, they were a personal trainer before. No, that's BS, guys. You're just giving yourself excuses and you're giving yourself a way out. You can do the same exact thing, right? And you have to put the positive spin on it. Like, this is awesome. Like, look where they are. I'm going that same way. See you there soon. And that is what you have to do. You have to think like that and get that confidence instilled in yourself. Without that, it's a struggle bus city, okay? So decide right now, guys. Do you want this to just be a hobby? Or do you want this to be a legit business? Decide, make the decision, and commit to it. Because however you treat this is how it's going to reward you. If you treat this like a hobby, it's going to reward you like a hobby. But if you treat this like $1 million business, it's going to reward you like $1 million business or a 6-figure business or whatever you want it to be. Because the truth is, guys, your success in this is almost literally, it's like 100% mindset, confidence, belief, followed up with the right daily actions. That's it. That is like the formula. And did I have naysayers along the way, guys? Did I have, like, were my biggest skeptics and critics sometimes my closest friends and family? Hell yeah. Right? Did I go down that path? You better believe it, baby. I had a lot of that. I had a lot of people telling me that I couldn't do it. You're not going to be successful. You're 35 pounds overweight. You know nothing about this. And it was a little hurtful when it was coming from close people, but I'm also not the type of person to crawl under a rock and let what people say stop me. As a matter of fact, I use that to fuel me. I mean, that actually lit a fire like you wouldn't believe. And I just kept saying, oh yeah, you just keep watching. You just keep watching. You got to do that. You got to let those things fuel your fire, because no one is in control over your future or your life but you. Don't let anybody take that power from you. It doesn't matter what they say. You keep your head down. You believe in you. You believe in this business. You believe in how it can change your family, and you go for it. And you don't let anybody stand in your way. And guess what? Those naysayers are going to come back around in a couple of years when you're having all this success. They're going to want to be your friend then. They're going to want to join you. So you just have to keep on going. Be a sponge, guys, and absorb anything and everything you can. Like, totally be coachable. Totally be coachable. Personal development, guys, I can't even tell you how important that is. And I know this is like, oh, personal development. For the first like 4 or 5 months of the business, I was moving so fast, I didn't think that I needed it. I was like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm already moving so fast. Who needs that? I don't have time to listen to read. But you will plateau, guys. You need that. If you're not working on yourself, then there's no way that you can help other people be the best and really grow your business to be the best it can be. You have got to make that a priority too. YouTube videos, podcasts, Audible, whatever it is, every day I'm listening to it. I have like all these different things I'm listening to in the car when I go to get the kids, when I'm in the shower, when I'm doing work, when I'm doing my workout. Just be a sponge and then apply it, okay? Last couple of things here. Understand that things don't happen overnight. And I just remember when I first started 4 years ago, I remember my mentor telling me, here it's like $1 million a year now. And I just remember him saying, like, Kathy, like, you have to just keep your head down. You have to do the things every day, and you just have to stay consistent with it and trust the process. And if you do, and you're willing to show up and be self-disciplined and do the right actions every day, then in 1 year from now, you'll never think about quitting. You'll never think that this isn't for you, and you'll never look back. And your life will be in a completely different place. And why would I argue with him? He was earning $1 million a year, right? Don't argue with the people who are doing it. Just don't try to do it differently either. Don't think you can do it better. Just do what they tell you to do. That's my best piece of advice. And you will see some serious success. And so I listened to that. And I remember him talking about the compound effect, right? And I listened, and I had the book, and I'm reading it, and you're doing the things, and you're like, I really hope to God he's right. You're keeping the faith. And I just put my team first in every way possible. I helped anyone and everyone, no matter what. I didn't care if they were my coaches or they were like 5 levels deep in the downline, or I didn't care if people signed up with me or not. I helped everyone and anyone, because if you put others first before your needs all the time, and you focus on building the real relationships with people, because that's what this business is. It's a relationship building business. Then you will be rewarded. You'll get everything in life that you could ever need. Your rank will go up. You'll hit Success Club, no problem. All these goals, they will just happen naturally because you're putting other people first all the time before you and your own goals, no matter what. And so finally, after listening to my mentor, it was at the 7-month mark. That was when I was earning with coaching, had surpassed what I was earning when I left my teaching career, which was around $70,000, $75,000 a year. And then you better believe my husband was a believer by then. He was a believer way before then, And then I just kept I was like, whoa, this is like crazy. And I just kept going. That momentum is what really keeps you going. And when you're excited and you're loving the business and you're loving life and you're just on fire, you attract way more people to you. And then it was by the 11-month mark, we were earning 6 figures. By 15 months in, guys, I was able to make the phone call. It's on YouTube. And I was able to pay off all the rest of the debt. And since then, I had never had to worry about leaving my kids to go back to work. I never had to miss a moment. And just a year ago, we were able to sell our house up in Massachusetts and move to our dream home right by the ocean, down in Florida. And my knees, seriously, guys, still have, I call them the 6-figure knees, because when I would work, I sit on the edge of my chair. I'm in a totally different place now, obviously I'm in Florida, but when I would work, when I first started this business and I lived in Massachusetts, I'd work in my kitchen, at my island, at the bar stool, and I would be so on edge. I'd sit at the edge of my seat and my knees would be right up against the island all night while I worked, that I literally have dents now on the tops of my knees. I'm like, that's when you know, right? When you have those dents. And my next goal, guys, is I want to be able to retire my husband. He does extremely well with his job, but this is doing way better, but we just got to keep it going. And I really want him to be able to stop his job. He's home every day working from home, but still, I want him to have total freedom. And I know, guys, that this is just the beginning for our future. So do you guys know that too? Do you really know? Do you have that belief? Do you have that belief in you, in this business? Guys, things take time. Not 6 months, not 1 year. Show me your 5-year plan with this business. Seriously, things take time. People think way too short term with business in general. And so before becoming a coach, if I had looked back on my life, things were good. We were living a good life. I had a great family, great friends. We were in a ton of debt, obviously. But what I realized was that I was just living a life of just mediocrity. I was just settling. I was being totally okay with average. And it wasn't until I got into this business where I realized that everyone deserves to live their best life, no matter what. I don't care who you are on this call right now listening. I don't care how well you do, where you live, what your life looks like. Everyone can always become better and live that better life. And that's what I realized when I got into this business, guys. And that's something that you guys all deserve. You all deserve it. And you only have one life to live, guys. One life. You should be loving what you're doing. You should be proud of what you're doing. You should be so pumped up about this and how this is going to change your future for you and for your family, and to know that you're in control of that. To know that you are in control of what either does or doesn't happen. That's it's pretty powerful, guys. And so you can do this too. I believe in every single person that comes into this business. I know you can all do this. Holly knows you guys are all capable, way more capable than what you even believe. But we cannot believe in you more than you believe in you. You need to believe in you the most in order to go all the way. Keep that long-term vision. And I like to kind of end with just this little analogy. Has anybody ever run the 4x100 race? And do we have any track athletes in here? Any sprinters? Oh, I see a little hand going up. Okay. That was my jam, the 4x1, all through high school and all through college. See, I like to move fast, guys. The marathon was just a bucket list item. I'm not a long distance runner. But anyways, I like to use this analogy and just feel like it reminds me of the business. So when you run the 4x100, right, you have the 4 people that line up around the track. You have the first person that starts. They have the baton in their hand, right? And they're running. The gun goes off loud as hell, and you are freaking running. And you're running your own race, and you're running as fast as you can. You're not looking around at the other team you're competing against, because then you're going to disqualify yourself and go off the road. You're looking where? Ahead. You're looking ahead, right ahead to the next person that you need to hand the baton to, and you're running your ass off. And everybody runs at different speeds, but you're running as fast as you freaking can, right? Because you need to get that baton to the next person, and you hand it. And then the next person, same thing, straight ahead, as fast as they can, till you go all the way around the track and the race is over. Guys, that baton is this business opportunity. You all have that baton right now in your hand. You better not be just holding on to that and not passing that freaking thing off. I want you to hold that baton, hold this business opportunity, run your own race, run as fast as you freaking can. Don't get distracted by anybody around you, and keep your eye ahead. And I hope that you pass the baton to other people, because that's going to be your team, and it's going to continue. So go after it, guys, because there's no magic. You don't need to be a unicorn. You just need to take action. So when this call is over, don't go to bed. Don't sit down and watch hours of TV. Send out some invites. Follow up with people and make it happen. That's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love that. I literally was going to say, don't just like get pumped up and then don't do anything, right? Like,
yeah.
For me, I mean, like you said, it goes back to first knowing your why. So get your vision boards back out. Like, you need your vision boards somewhere you can see them at all times. And I do as well. And when you hit one goal, cross it off, and then you better put something bigger on there. And your vision board should have more than that, 1 year. Like you said, what's your 5-year plan? So you need to know these things so you know what you're working towards. And then, I mean, it's so simple. You said, set your business hours. How many of you guys have said like, oh, like I feel like I'm on my phone all day, or I don't want to be on my phone all day. I don't want to be on my computer all day. Don't be, right? I don't. Katherine didn't, like when when her kids were home, neither one of us do that. You don't have to do that to be successful. What you do have to do, exactly what Katherine said, you have to set business hours. So I know during my nap time, those are business hours. I know when Sam goes to bed, those are business hours, and they are hours. So, we talk about that 1 hour power hour, and that's great. That's going to get you to Success Club 10. That's not going to get you to a 6-figure earner in 11 months, right? 8 to midnight, 8 to 12:30, right? She was working 4, 5, plus her, plus the nap time hustle. So, this is not like a 1 hour a day thing. And it can be, you just need to make sure that your expectations meet your efforts. And within those hours, exactly what Katherine said, it's not scrolling Instagram. It's saying, oh, look, well, maybe I'll do my feed this way, or I'll do it this way. I'll do it this way. It's sitting down and inviting for 4 hours. I mean, I don't know how many people on this call can say, I invited for 4 hours today. And not always straight up inviting either, right? Katherine's saying, I'm forming relationships with people. I'm having conversations with people. This isn't 4 hours and going like blast cold invites. This is really talking to people. So there was one question, Alexandra, example of how to start an invite in a non-weird way. And, you can, I'll let you answer, but I think again, what you were doing was you were starting real conversations.
Right. Exactly. So that's the thing, is that, when I first started, when I had the 300 friends those were all people that I had worked with or I did sports with, and they knew me. And so I could immediately, when I reached out to them, I could go ahead right away and invite them to be a part of my support group. When I first started and I had the 35 pounds to lose, I literally was just like, the night I signed, this is how crazy, guys, I was so desperate to make this work. I signed up at 9:30 at night on June 25th. And my coach said to me, while I was on the phone, don't expect much to happen now the first month or so. Just kind of take it easy. And I hung up the phone and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm even doing, but I know that I cannot just sit here for a month. And I know that there's these challenge groups I'm going to be a part of. I mean, guys, I didn't even know what a challenge group was. I sat down and I legit went through like every single friend because I knew them. And I would just reach out to them like, hey, Amy, listen, I'm so excited. I just became a coach. I got to lose this 35. I always shared where I was in my journey. I got to lose this 35 pounds after having my 2 kids. I cannot get rid of it. And I'm going to be doing this awesome 21-day support group. And I'm looking for people to do this with me. I'm going to need a ton of support. Would you be interested in hearing more about it? That was it. And I literally sent that to all my friends. At the time, we didn't have all access like you have now. It's on demand. It was like I bought the one program and I was inviting just to that one specific program. So that's what I did. And I was doing those massive invites just like that. But in the meantime, I was also, like when you hear 6 figures in 11 months, right? When you see like a business activity tracker, I have no idea what yours look like, right? But those are all like the bare bone minimum amounts of numbers on there usually, right? I mean, if you really want to step it up a notch, you got to like 10x all those numbers, like 10 times them all. And that's what I was doing. So when my coach was saying, hey, you should send 3 new friend requests to people, I was sending like 30 new friend requests to people a day. And what I was doing was every night, not only was I doing the invites to the people I knew like that, but I was spending a lot of time just talking to these other people, building real relationships. I mean, you can't get to 6 figures and just blast cold invites to everybody. That's not going to happen like that. So I was having these conversations with people, getting to know them. They were mostly moms. I was talking to them about their kids, their life, really getting to know them, just having a couple conversations back and forth. People think that you need to build a relationship with somebody for like months. Like sometimes like there's people who just like, they're building the relationship and it's a year later, they're still building. You eventually have to invite them. So I would just have like a couple conversations going back and forth for maybe a week. And then I'd do the same thing. Hey, by the way, I meant to mention this the other day. No idea if you're interested in this, but I have this awesome, super fun accountability group kicking off in a week. And I'm looking for 5 people to do it with me or whatever it was. Would you be interested in hearing more about it? I always ended it with, would you be interested in hearing more about it? To start, right? That doesn't include my follow-ups because you're not asking for their kidney. You're just asking if they're interested in hearing more about it. But if you don't ask, you're never going to know. And trust me, these people are too nervous to come to you, especially at the beginning. Like you have to go to them. Like there are people sitting down right now, guys, as we speak, feeling totally depressed about themselves, feeling like there's no way out, feeling like they've tried everything. And you have what works. And you're doing them a disservice by not reaching out to them. So I just kind of continued that method and I just did it in massive numbers every single day. And yeah, like Holly said, it was like, it wasn't 4 hours of me just kind of perusing Facebook and posting in my challenge group and making a video. It was 4 hours like behind the scenes and private message every night. And don't overthink it. Like people way overthink this business. Like just invite them, ask them if they want to be a part of it. Yeah. You'll be surprised actually how many people say like, yeah, tell me more about it. And then you're like, yes.
Yeah. I think a big thing too that I hear a lot is like, I'm just so tired. Like I'm just so tired at night. I can't stay up. And
well, guess what, guys?
Yeah. Right. Drink your Energize and go back to your why. If your why doesn't energize you, then it's not big enough. Like your stake in this business isn't big enough.
Right.
I mean, it just isn't, because if you're about to lose your house or lose your car or something, I bet you're not going to feel too tired to send another hour of invites. Like that's
so
what
true.
It comes down to.
It's so true, guys. I mean, like, come on, who the hell isn't tired? Do you know anybody, especially if you're a parent? I mean, we're going to be tired forever. You might as well make money and be tired at the same time versus going to sleep. You're still going to be tired the next day. Yeah. So it's like, carve out that time and get it done. Like I said, if you're serious about this and you have that powerful reason for being here, and it's not just like, I love helping people. Like, well, obviously everybody wants to help people, but that's not the reason. if you have a strong inner form, you're going to show up. Just like last night, guys, I got 4 hours of sleep. I didn't choose 4 hours of sleep last night, but my daughter decided to wake up at 4:40 this morning. But I'm still here, peppy on this call. I have had it energized, and I'm going to get some work done after this because this is my business, and we've been able to create this kind of life because of this. And you can do it. You can do it too. What recommendations do I have for growing your cold market versus your warm market? So, it's so different now than when I first started. You know what I mean? Things are so different. Like when I first started, I didn't even have like an Instagram account, like at all. And I built this whole thing to 6 figures strictly on Facebook. And so when I was doing Facebook, originally I did like a combination of 2 different things. I would join different groups on Facebook of things that I really liked or liked to do. For example, I was a runner, or I was nursing my daughter at the time. So I joined like nursing mom groups or stay-at-home mom groups for my town, or Boston Marathon groups, just coffee groups, like things that I loved. I found those groups on Facebook and I joined them. And then what I did was, now I didn't blast them and like sales pitch them or anything like that in the middle of their feed, but I would incorporate now that into my power hour when I worked. Every day I'd make a commitment to go into those groups. Not a lot of time. People spend too much time. 5 to 10 minutes engaging with other posts that people were making. I'd ask a question just for the heck of it, even if I knew the answer, just to get people to respond and engage. And after doing that and showing up in there and people are seeing you comment and post questions, people would send me friend requests. I'd send them a friend request. They wouldn't think I was a weirdo because then they saw me from the group, where I could be like, oh yeah, I'm in that, nursing mom group. Like, how old are your 2 little ones? And we could start the conversation that way. So I did that. And then another thing I did through Facebook was, a lot of times, honestly, like through my friends, I would go to their friend list and I would just look through. And anytime I saw that we had like mutual friends in common, I'd always hover over like how many mutual friends we had, who the mutual friends were. Because if I saw a coach, obviously you don't want to friend request somebody who already has a coach in common. That's like their territory. I would just send them a friend request. And that was it. And then it's just all about having more eyes on you guys. That's why you're doing this. It's more people to have conversations with, more people to watch you, what you're doing, because you're posting and sharing and adding value every day on social media too, right? And then now for Instagram, it's different. Now I do Facebook, but not really. It's really more Instagram. And now I just find things that I have going on like in my life right now. Like for example, my son just started first grade like last week. So we'll search hashtags for first grader, and then they'll all pop up. You know what I mean? Like they'll pop up and I'll comment on the first 9 and I'll send them a message. And sometimes they'll follow me back. And I just do that for a bunch of different hashtags for things that I have going on in my life right now. So that way we can have something in common. And that's how I kind of pick up more followers on Instagram right now. I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And I like the point. And I think a lot of times we'll create our list of hashtags and we don't go back and make sure that they're relevant for where we are right now. Like this is perfect timing, like first grader, right? With all the kids going back to school.
Right.
So really think about, what are you doing right now in your life? Not just the general like toddler mom,
right,
type hashtag. So
and you can like click on other hashtags and they'll lead you to other hashtags. And yeah. I mean, it takes some time to find your hashtags, but you definitely want to spend the time figuring them out. Because you will be able to build new relationships with people off of them.
For sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh my gosh. It has been an hour, so I cannot believe it. You are amazing. Thank you so much. You guys, this is being recorded, so I will get this posted. But again, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
And have a great night. This was amazing.
Yeah, go crush it, guys. No excuses. No going to bed right now. Get some work done. Drink your Energize.
Right. Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks, Holly. Bye, guys.